Should you become a front-end developer in 2020 or 2021? Hi, my name is Vamshi and welcome back to Cynohub. In this video, we're going to talk about what exactly is front-end development and should you consider front-end development as a career path, and if you want to become a front-end developer, what are the steps that you need to take? Okay, so before I go any further, I need to explain you what exactly front-end development means. And in order to explain you what front-end development means, I have to give you an idea of what web development is. So basically, web development basically means that, it's development of websites. It's basically as simple as that. And development of website consists of basically two different parts, or a website consists of two different parts. So for example, let us say I have this particular piece of cube, right? This piece of cube is blue in color. It's about this big. And these are the things which I can actually see, right? The color of the cube, the size of the cube, the material of the cube, these are things that I can actually see. So exactly just like this, a website also has two parts, the part which we can see and the part which we don't see. And this particular piece of cube is kind of like, it's holding itself together with the use of a couple of nails, glue, whatever it might be. So just like this, a website also consists of, two different parts, the part which we see and the part which we don't see. Both of these parts are very, very integral to kind of like, allow the website to function normally. So the part which we see is called as a front end and the part which we don't see is called as a back end. So now we're going to talk about the front end part. Front end developers are usually tasked with developing the user experiences or the user interfaces which we interact with on a day-to-day basis. For example, let us say you go to Amazon.in. When you go to Amazon.in, you see a home page full of products, lists of promotional offers, etc. and a lot more other stuff. All of this is something that you interact with. See, that's the front end part. And whenever you search for something on Amazon, basically whatever happens in the back end part, the databases, the operations, or the fetching of other data is the back end part. Alright, so coming back, in order to become a front-end developer, you need to go through three different steps. The first step is you have to learn HTML and CSS. Now, HTML and CSS are one of the most easiest things to learn. Now, let me explain you what HTML and CSS is. HTML basically means hypertext markup language, and CSS basically means cascading style sheet, right? What does it mean? HTML and CSS, hypertext markup language, cascading style sheet, they sound so complex, right? But trust me, they are not. For a quick example, let us say I have this particular piece of book. Now, in this piece of book, we have a lot of text, just like a lot of websites. For a lot of websites, we see and we read text on a lot of websites, right? For example, you read articles on the internet, right? So on these websites or in this particular piece of book, let us say the whole text is HTML. Now, hypertext, remember that? So text is basically HTML. Now, the size of the text, the position of the text, the background color, the color of the text, all of these visual elements, all of these styling is basically CSS. That's why the name cascading style sheet. So a website consists of, at least the part of the website, the front end part of the website which we interact with consists of HTML and CSS, actual content and the styling of the content. So that's HTML, that's CSS. So you need to learn HTML and CSS. And just like any other language out there, you have additional tools for you called as libraries or frameworks, especially in terms of web development, for you to, make your life a little bit more easier in terms of developing HTML and CSS. Okay, so that's about HTML and CSS. So now that we know what HTML and CSS is, let's move on to the next stage of learning. The next stage of learning is JavaScript. You need to learn JavaScript in order to become a web developer. Okay, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a programming language like any. And where do we use JavaScript in a website? So for example, let us say if the website is a human body, right? The clothes, the skin that I have is basically HTML and CSS, right? Then JavaScript is a skeleton of my body or the skeleton of a website. JavaScript basically tells the website what to do and what not to do. It's a functionality that comes along with JavaScript for the particular website. So in Amazon.com, when you click on search, the functionality is basically, to navigate you to another page and show you that relevant piece of products. Okay. Now that we understand what JavaScript is, now that we have a brief idea about what JavaScript is, what is the popularity of JavaScript? JavaScript is one of the most popular languages used all across the country, all across the globe, right? There are approximately more than 12 million developers who are using JavaScript to build awesome web applications. Okay, so that is stage 2 of learning. So now that we have stage 1 is HTML and CSS and stage 2 is JavaScript, what is the stage 3? Stage 3 is you need to pick a framework after JavaScript. Okay, what is a framework? So while you're learning front-end development, this is something that you're going to come across a lot more frequently. The terms frameworks and the terms libraries. These two terms are very, very popular and these two terms are very, very essential for a front-end developer. Libraries or frameworks are these pieces of code or these pieces of software that help you develop applications a lot more quicker. Okay, for example, let us say we have this piece of book, right? And this particular piece of book has its own unique style into it. So you took a lot of time in terms of, deciding the background color, deciding the size of the particular fonts and all of this neat little styling, right? Now I want to manufacture 1,000 of these books. Now I'm not going to copy the exact piece of code of this book and I'm not going to copy paste it onto each and every single book. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a library. So library basically means that, it's a pre-existing piece of code that you can use to make your development a lot more faster, right? So the same thing is frameworks. So in terms of CSS, you have a lot of libraries which can help you to start styling a lot more easier, a lot more quicker. But in terms of JavaScript, you have a lot more frameworks to help you build applications a lot more quicker. Okay, so like I said, the three most popular frameworks all across the globe are AngularJS, React.js, and Vue.js. Okay, so I know these terms AngularJS, React.js, and Vue.js seem otherworldly, but trust me, they're not. They're very, very simple and easy frameworks which you can use to build faster and efficient web applications. You just have to pick one of these frameworks. And like I said, React and Vue are something, they're very, very popular in this particular day and age. So pick either of these and start learning immediately. Okay, so to recap whatever we talked about in this particular piece of video, there are three different stages of becoming a front-end developer. The first stage is learning HTML and CSS, which is very, very easy. Trust me, HTML and CSS is one of the most easiest things that you can learn. And if you want to start learning, we have an incredible class. The link is in the description. You can check it out. And the second stage is JavaScript. The JavaScript is also a little bit easy, but you need to spend a little bit more time. And if you're someone who already knows JavaScript, you can go on to the front-end frameworks. And in front-end frameworks, like I said, you can pick either React or Vue. And if you want to learn Vue.js, we have an awesome course or we have an awesome class for that as well. The link is in the description. Do check that out. And so these are the three different steps that you need to take to become a front-end developer. Awesome. So once again, if you have any sort of questions in terms of becoming a front-end developer or anything in terms of how to choose your career path, you can just leave them in the comment section below and I'll make sure to answer that. And if you found this video helpful, please do leave a like and also please do share this video with one of your friends who might also find this video helpful. Also, please do subscribe with the notifications on because there are going to be a lot more videos coming up which is going to help you in terms of choosing your career or advancing your career. Awesome. In the meantime, if you want me to talk about any other topics, please do leave them in the comment section below and I'll see you next time. Take care and bye-bye.